Hello and welcome to an abbreviated episode of Powwow Podcast. We'll get more into that in a minute. I am one of your hosts, Philip.
And I'm the other one of your hosts, and I'm blanking on the name, something. I can't remember now. But we're here.
Your name? You don't know your own name?
Namfo, something like that.
Yeah. For those who are confused, if you have not heard last week's episode, you should go back and listen. That is an inside joke to everybody who listened last week. Of course, this is pulling back the production curtain a little bit. This is an immediate recorded episode after we did our previous episode because we're going to be doing a little segment. I guess might even have to call it a full episode. Maybe they're all-encompassing, all in one. It is called Gone Fishing. And the reason why is because I will take the burden of this. I am going on vacation this now week that you are listening to this podcast. I'm going on vacation. Some would say a well-deserved one. I would say just a vacation.
Well, I mean, I'm a little peeved because Phil did not clear this with the Powwow Incorporated. Powwow Incorporated did not approve any vacation days for Phil, so he's taken a huge pay cut. So
I didn't clear it all the way up the
corporate ladder.
No, I didn't.
No Christmas bonus for you either.
Oh God. I love Christmas too. We decided in light of that, we didn't want to leave you high and dry. So we are going to be coming with you with an abbreviated, a shorter version of the podcast, thus Gone Fishing. And for today's topic, we will be talking about things we like to do on vacation, because I think I'm going to be a lot different than you based off of what I've heard from both your mother and your sister. I'm very different with how I vacation, how I enjoy a vacation than you do, Hoffman. So why don't you start us off? What is your ideal vacation? Pretty much anywhere in the world, there's like standards. What is set for you to at least have the baseline of a successful vacation?
A vacationing for me is all about the people who I'm with. But if we're talking more concrete places, I love two things. I love beach, warm holidays and vacations for you Americans, and I love to ski. So I love either one of these two types of vacations. They're both amazing. At my age, at my young, sprightly, youthful age, I like to
way to flaunt it in my face.
Yeah. There's not that much of an age difference. I like to go out. I like to go to bars. I like to meet people. I like to have fun, and that's usually a easy thing to do. An easy thing to do when you're on a beach vacation. Of course, if you have some beach bars or restaurants or clubs, whatever. Clubs not usually my thing, but anything like that. And then skiing. I don't know about skiing in the US, but skiing in Europe, there's a huge nightlife to it. If you're on that younger, it's called après ski, and you go afterwards, you drink, you have fun.
Does everybody afterwards get a peregrine and then some sorbet afterwards?
I'm sorry, what?
Is that what everybody does in Europe? Is afterwards, after a nice scalp, a nice ski, they go out and they get some sparkling water and get some sorbet and have a very good time afterwards?
You'll drink lots of Glühwein and hot chocolate and beer. And in Austria, we drink Almdudler. It's a soda, and it's not so sweet like American sodas. It's more like it's made from like flowers somewhere in the mountains, and it's very tasty. And you drink it, and you're like, why do I like this? Because it's very strange, but I like it. Almdudler, yeah.
It sounds like what I'd do to you if I was mad at you.
Please.
We're going to give you an Almdudler.
Please. So there's a big nightlife. So I love to do things. I love to meet people. I love to eat. I love to have fun. And the beach and swimming in the ocean is always a plus.
Yeah, we could not be more different. I'm going to first start out like way at the beginning, which you took as a granted. And I say very much so. We need to have a discussion on this. You said a vacation's only as good or starts with the people you enjoy vacation with.
100.
I disagree.
What?
Do you know who I'm going with on this vacation? Me and myself, baby. I'm treating myself each and every day. I'm going to be enjoying where I'm going. I guess I can say now because not like anybody can follow me. Washington, D.C. I'm going over there to scout some things out. I will be enjoying the finest dining establishments by myself. I will be Ubering for one. I will be staying with one. Thank you. Thank you, Philip. God bless you, Philip. Love me some me. I will be going out by myself. Don't need other people. Doesn't mean I'm against going with other people, mind you. I'm just saying you don't need other people to have fun on a vacation. Second of all, where you're absolutely atrociously wrong, a beach is a horrifying place to go, let alone on a vacation. Excuse me? What? No, beach is only good for one thing, and it's when you're in Mexico and the vendors come up and down the beach and they can sell you a Batman kite. God bless. That was one of my favorite memories as a child, was going to Rocky Point and somebody coming up and selling me and my family a Batman kite. That's it. That alone is the only good reason for a beach. I hate where everywhere that sand gets. I hate that the water's salty, so that way you can't even open up your eyes. And I hate the fact that stuff in there can kill you and eat you. You're in somebody else's habitat, and let alone the fact that everybody's urinating, defecating in there. It's unsanitary. On every level, the beach is horrifying and horrible. You have thoughts?
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating. And it gets everywhere. Is that you, Phil?
This is why I prefer the high ground.
You are on your way to becoming Darth Vader. Don't you? No. I love the beach.
For joining them.
I mean, you can say that you don't like the beach, but don't tell me that the beach is a horrible place, because the beach is fantastic and there's nothing more exhilarating and just refreshing and soothing than swimming in clean ocean water.
There's freaking seaweed on the ground, man. Your toes like get.
Well, then you're going to crappy beaches.
No,
yes.
No. It's a beach.
You know where you should go?
By
you know where you should go?
Where?
It's the Seychelles.
Oh, fan flippin' tastic. Can't wait. The one thing I will give you is I do enjoy the idea of a pier. It like has all the best things of a beach, just not. Because you can fish if you want to. That's kind of fun. That can do whatever you want. It's got the amazing view, right? And 3, no sand. Thank you. I'm out. Goodbye. Hoist me in and out of the ocean by sea seat, if need be.
I know the listeners stand with me. Please DM us. Tell us what you think. Beach or no beach?
The one thing I like about a pier is usually there's good seafood around there just because they know that they need to incorporate around
We can agree on that.
I do enjoy that.
I love seafood. I'm a big seafood person.
Seafood's fantastic. Yeah. I will go with you on that. But if we can regale this and bring this back to me, which is what this whole podcast is about, me. Thank you. The favorite thing about a vacation has to start and end with where you're staying. Having a good home base of where you're going, if you can afford it, always upgrade on the hotel, because a good bed, I could very easily have a fantastic vacation that is nothing more than just a staycation at like even a Motel 6, just somewhere where you don't have to necessarily clean up for yourself.
I'll agree that, cleaning up for yourself is kind of like, that's exactly what you don't want to do on a vacation. So anywhere that you don't have to clean up after yourself. The bed is important. I'm with you there. But I'm not for spending more money on excessive space in the hotel room, because I'm not a staycation kind of person. Like, unless you're renting like a house or something for the weekend or something like that, and it has a pool maybe. But I'm not going to be spending my vacation in the hotel room. I want to go out and see things and do things. So the bed is important, but I don't need that much space as long as I've got enough space for my things.
And where I will also agree with you, we kind of already talked on this and had a conversation about it. The food of a vacation is very important. Even if I've always found it somewhat important to do your best, if at all possible, to eat locally. It doesn't have to be utter locally that it's authentic and all this stuff. It can even be just if you want to try the difference of Hardee's versus Carl's Jr. Something that egregious, just once, but try something new. I always say try something new, whether it's still within the same realm of food that you like, just that town, that city, that state, that country's version of it. Try it. Try something new. Again, even if it's the exact same order that you would have in America, just try it. I always try to encourage that and go somewhere new whenever I'm in a vacation.
I'd be more inclined to encourage you to try some of the local food rather than the same order.
Baby steps, Hoffman.
Like,
baby steps.
Don't go. Like, I don't know why you're going on vacation to compare German McDonald's to British McDonald's.
I do have a question. What are your thoughts on the same concept, but in activities, where you could do these activities, but you could do them at home, but you're doing them on vacation, a la not something like going on a walk, like walking in a park or something like that, because obviously that's a different site. There's a reason why you would do that. But something more along the lines of going out to see a movie that you could see at home. But it's just a generic Frozen 2. Let's just say you can go see Frozen 2 while you're in San Diego.
I don't think you're not going to experience anything different there, and except maybe seeing it in a different language if you're in a different country, especially animated movies, unless they happen to have revolutionary snacks in whatever place you're going to visit that you can't get at home. No, I think like if you're doing stuff that you could be doing at home where there's no actual difference, why? Like I do think like going to bars and experiencing the nightlife in a new place, that's different because you're experiencing something new.
What about, and this just, since I'm a sports guy, this pops into my mind more so than others. What about if it's something along the lines of like a basketball game, a baseball game, a football game?
I can get behind. I think that
you can.
Yeah, I think that any stadium that you go to, a stadium or arena that you go to has a different atmosphere, different fans. Yeah. It's going to be different. You might meet people, but even if you don't want to meet people, like it's going to be unique and it'll be a memory. And the very nature of sports is that it's different every time, right? So going to see a game, it will be a memory and it will be unique, I think, every time you do it. But you probably can go see that movie the next week once you're back at home.
One of my last qualifying questions here. Do you feel obligated to sightsee whenever you go somewhere? So if, say, for instance, you go to New York, my family, number one priority of the entire trip was to see and to go on like the tour of the Statue of Liberty. I have yet to see the Statue of Liberty in person. And I've been to New York now like a couple of times, like 3 times in my life for different stays, for different tenures. I lived in New York for a while. And I still have yet to have seen the Statue of Liberty in person. It does nothing for me. I could go the rest of my life never seeing the Statue of Liberty in person. But do you find that to be something highly important when visiting somewhere else?
No, it's not. Well, it's important, but it's not the most important thing, in my opinion. I do like to see things. We did the tour. We did the boat tour around the Statue of Liberty, and we obviously went up the Empire State. But there, I think that's a little different because being up at the top and seeing everything, that's like a true like experience.
Yeah.
But seeing the sights, like we saw both times I was in New York. I went to go see the bull. That's in Wall Street, like sort of in the financial district, and I think that's all well and good. But I'm more interested when I go to a place like, for example, when the first time I went to go spend a week with my high school friends in a town in Spain close to Barcelona. We spent the entire week in that town. And we went to the beach a lot, and we got food in a variety of places, and we went out every night to the bars in that town. We didn't go to Barcelona once. Like we obviously went to the airport there, but we didn't do a day. And the second time we went to Barcelona for a day, but even then we didn't really do the sights. It's not that big of a thing for me. I would rather be experiencing the culture and doing activities than seeing things, like seeing a building, like, okay, it's beautiful. Yes. But I would rather be at the beach or at a restaurant tasting food or at a bar meeting people, dancing.
For my last question, I'm going to frame it in the mindset of place yourself in Disney World, Disneyland, wherever you want. Because I think that it frames it the best, even though it's applicable to multiple situations. Whenever you're going with somebody in a group to Disney World, Disneyland, are you the person who holds the map and takes everybody, directs everybody to where we are going for that day? Or are you the person who lets somebody else take control and map out the rest of the day?
What do you think?
Oh, I have a sneaky, prickly suspicion in the nether regions of my body that you hold the map viciously like the little bearded tyrant you are.
I'm not vicious, but I will sort of say like, let's do this and then let's do this. What? Okay. Do you like amusement parks? Are you a big amusement park person?
Yeah,
you like,
actually.
Are you
yeah, I'm.
are you a thrill
okay
seeker? Or do you just like are you more like, do you love the roller coasters and the fun rides, or do you go more for like the bumper cars and the food and the general whatever?
No, it's definitely the thrill seeking element of it that I find to be more desirable.
Yeah, 100% with you.
So you definitely lead your group. I am neither of the options that you listed. I would very much more say that I'm an individual whenever it comes to these things, especially if I go in a group. It's different if you go with family. You kind of, you can only be an individual so much. But I don't necessarily do what anybody else wants. I still remain to do what I want to do, what I set out to be. If other people want to join me, so be it. But I'm also not demanding and saying, oh, we're going to lunch here. It's more so, if I want pizza, I will go out of my way to get pizza, rejoin the group, be a part of the group, but I will go out and get pizza while everybody else went to get butterbeer at Universal Studios, and then I'll return. Or if everybody wants to go on It's a Small World After All, I will wait in line for the Tomorrowland ride with Buzz Lightyear and do that before I do It's a Small World and meet up with you guys later. I don't need the rest of the group to go with me, but I also don't mind if somebody joins me, if somebody else wants to go to Buzz Lightyear. I'm not going to just demand that everybody goes with me. So therefore, that's also why I can kind of do my own thing on vacation.
Cool.
Any questions you have about vacation? Anything you want to know about me and how I spend my days I don't spend my days in a bubble bath while on vacation. I can imagine there are some who would, but not me.
Do you make a point? I know within the U.S. there's a lot of debate, a hot debate around where the best pizza is. Do you make a point of trying any particular food in every? I know we did touch on this a little bit, but is there one food that you make a point of trying at different places around the country?
If it's around the country. Maybe if it's around the country, maybe. It has to depend on whether or not the food in question is something that I am interested in. Since I'm such a picky eater, I think we'll do this topic later down the line of food. But as a bit of a heads up, I am a picky eater. So therefore, let's say I were to go visit India, because I really do want to go visit India, mostly because I hear that they have they're like the best quality to cost ratio of massages. Like, I live for massages. They are fantastic. And I hear India is one of the best places to go get a massage. Anyways, I'm not particularly into or interested in or have a taste for Indian food. So I would not make a point of going out to eat local food. I would be very comfortable. Well, I was going to say eating a steak in India, but that might be sacrilegious.
Yeah, you're not. You're gonna have a hard time finding one.
So I would probably eat ramen each and every day that I was there, and be perfectly content with that. Or if there was an American diner,
they have McDonald's there.
You're
just gonna have to eat like the chicken or something.
Yeah, something to that degree, to where I would be
interesting,
quote unquote, eating local if I could, but not necessarily feeling like I need to go authentic. Like if I were to go to somewhere like New Orleans, I probably wouldn't get any gumbo, but I would try the beignets.
Okay. And I'm curious if you were to, you haven't done much, if any, international travel, right?
Been to Mexico, and that's about it.
Okay, so if you are traveling to a different country, there's obviously a stereotype, which is mostly, I found, untrue about American travelers that they don't, and I truly mean that. It's mostly untrue. When Americans travel, they do mostly tend to make a little bit of an effort to learn a few phrases in the language. Is that something that you would find important, to learn a few phrases in whatever language of the country that you're going to, in order to just communicate the basics and be polite? Like, because in most European countries, you're gonna meet somebody, and if you just make an effort and you say, like, in their language, "Hey, excuse me, do you speak English?" In their language, they're going to appreciate that, and they're going to be like, "Of course I speak English," because most people in Europe do. But except I found in France that maybe is less true. In some places, they just want you to communicate in French the entire time, and it's like, okay, well, that's impossible. So, but how important do you find that to be if you were to travel to somewhere?
Again, depends on where I'm going. If I'm going to France, all I would need to learn in French is "Donde está la croissant?" That's all I need to know. But if I'm going to Egypt or something, I probably would, since it's so far away from my native tongue, I probably would feel a bigger onus to go and learn something. If I were to go to like Australia, and I know that they're like
English there.
multiple, they have Aborigine tribes.
Okay.
And so if I were to go and go on a natural safari with an Aboriginal tour guide, I don't know how motivated I would be to learn that language when they speak English somewhat more frequently.
I mean,
there.
If it's a tour guide, they expect to speak English.
David,
to
don't bring logic into this thing. I already whittled you down with my Aboriginal knowledge.
All right.
And just stay down, man. Stay down.
All right. Well, we hope we've given you some
entertained you. Of
yeah,
else.
I don't know that we've really given you anything of value this week, but next week we'll be back with something real
back to normal,
juicy.
Oh, like a steak in India, real juicy, almost raw.
Yikes.
Thank you so much to Tara Amstutz and Josh Hans. Sorry, I'm still thinking about the fresh meat of India. To Josh Hans for their wonderful contributions to the show, Tara Amstutz for her graphic design work, and Josh Hans for his wonderful production elements you would find in pretty much every episode that's not this one.
Well, thank you to Cass and Crossline for our intro and outro music. And Jake, we'll see you next week, buddy.
You can find this and all the full entire catalog of our podcasting episodes in the back catalog at Powwow Podcast. Anywhere you can find your normally scheduled podcast, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere pretty much except for Pandora, because screw you, Pandora.
Bears eat salmon, and I think salmon's delicious. So I think we might even get along.